Experiment 345 was the 345th genetic experiment created by Jumbo with Hamster's funding. He was designed to distract enemies by performing tricks with his elastic body. 345 and the other first 624 experiments were deactivated and smuggled to Earth by Jumbo during his mission to capture experiments 6 through 6. All the experiment pods were released and scattered across the island of Kauai. Lilo and Stitch, the series. 345 eventually found its way to an international circus, where he was taken in and named Elastico by the troop's ringmaster. A newspaper article with Elastico's picture in it was almost used as a sandwich wrapper by Experiment 625. When Gantu noticed the article on his ship, he snatched it and read the section. Ruben then revealed that Elastico had been activated 2 weeks ago, so Gantu headed off to the circus to capture the experiment.
Well, I guess I'm going to the circus.
Great. Have some cotton candy for me, would you?
Stitch later noticed Elastico riding atop a circus van, and after Lilo rebuffed Stitch about it, he followed Elastico to the circus. There, Stitch disguised himself as a clown and attempted to capture Elastico, but the latter teased Stitch and turned the whole chase into a game. Eventually, Elastico calmed down when Stitch grabbed him and called him cousin.
Gotcha, cousin.
Cousin?
The entire audience began cheering for Stitch, who was then praised by Elastico's ringmaster. However, at that moment, Gantu barged in, strangled Elastico, and stuffed him into a net before fleeing. Stitch revealed that Gantu kidnapped Elastico, much to the ringmaster's dismay. He then mentioned how Stitch stole the show with his incredible stunts and even invited him to perform in Elastico's stead, to which Stitch happily accepted. He later met the circus troupe, where he put on a show and signed a contract permitting him to travel with the circus. Meanwhile, Gantu tried to teleport Elastico to Hamsterville, but the experiment put up quite a fight and proved difficult to control. Ruben wagered a sandwich on the whole ordeal, though Gantu eventually disabled Elastico by blasting him and then put him in shackles. However, he stretched out of the cuffs and under the teleport chamber just before the transfer could be completed. Elastico somehow packaged himself and then shipped himself back to the circus, reuniting with his ringmaster. When Lilo later discovered that Stitch had run away with the circus, she paid him a visit and attempted to make amends.
Is that you?
Lilo?
Just then, Gantu attacked and tried to take Elastico back, but was thwarted by Lilo and Stitch as well as the entire circus troupe. As Elastico's family prepared to leave for their next show, Lilo and Stitch made up. When the ringmaster learned that Stitch had a family of his own, the former voided the contract on a technicality, and let Stitch be with his Ohana. After Stitch said his goodbyes, he and Lilo decided that Elastico's one true place was staying with the circus. Checkers. Elastico was one of the experiments in Checkers that joined Stitch in a rebellion against Gantu. Gantu even put Elastico on his head, thinking the latter was Checkers. Remy. In the episode Remy, Elastico was one of the experiments in Lilo's dream. Leroy and Stitch, the movie. The first 624 experiments, including Elastico, were rounded up by Leroy and taken to a stadium to be destroyed. However, Lilo, Stitch, Jumbo, Pleakley, Ruben, and Gantu arrived before the experiments could be destroyed. Elastico participated in the following battle between the experiments and the Leroy clones by attacking Leroy's with his elastic body. However, the Leroys soon gained the upper hand in the battle, but were defeated when Lilo, Stitch, Ruben, and several other experiments performed the song Aloha Oi, which caused the Leroy army to shut down due to a failsafe mechanism. Elastico even joined them on stage by playing the trombone. Special abilities. Elastico can manipulatively stretch and bend any part of his body like taffy, flatten it until it is incredibly thin, reshape it into anything, and use this ability to perform amazing stunts and tricks. He can also roll into a ball, though more of a bouncy ball than the form Stitch in most experiments use. Elastico can inflate himself and float like a balloon as well. As part of stretching, Elastico displays some amount of invulnerability. Poor stretching, even under several tons of load, appears to cause him pain and discomfort, but no permanent or even temporary harm. He can use his elasticity to throw objects with far more force than his slight stature would imply. Elastico has shown to be skilled in playing the trombone. Weaknesses. Poor stretching because of someone pulling on Elastico causes him pain and discomfort. He is also jumpy around anyone or anything he sees as a threat, but is otherwise indestructible.
I've never heard of that.
Trivia. Elastico was activated off-screen. Elastico is one of 10 known experiments named by someone other than Lilo, the other 9 being Gigi, Yarp, Hammerface, Heat, Thresher, Plasmoid, Mortholomew, Shrink, and Leroy. Elastico in particular was named by the ringmaster of the circus. He is also one of the 6 known experiments to be rehabilitated by someone other than Lilo and Stitch, the other 5 being Gigi, Yarp, Spike, French Fry, and Snooty. Elastico in particular was rehabilitated by the ringmaster of the circus, which became his one true place. He is also the only known experiment to be rehabilitated by a one-shot character rather than one of the regulars. According to Ruben, he describes Elastico as
primary function, distraction of hostile forces. Alright?
Elastico's head appears in the online game Jumba's Lab.
Elastico.
As far as we know, there has never been any official Elastico merchandise released by Disney or any of its affiliates. However, thanks to some wonderfully creative people at Etsy, we are able to have one custom made. If you enjoyed this video, please smash a like and subscribe to the channel for more Lilo and Stitch videos. And leave a comment down in the comments section with who is your favorite experiment and which one you would like to see us do next. Until next time, aloha!